Once there was a man named Gold Roger, who was king of the pirates. He traveled far and wide with his crew, amassing fame, treasure, and infamy. His has been the only crew to make it to the end of the Grand Line, a treacherous journey. At his execution, he called out and kick-started the new age of pirates. One Piece is a grand story. It has to be one of my favorites. Created by Ichiro Oda, it started its publication in Shonen Jump about 25 years ago. In that time, it has touched on a lot of subjects. Everything from the built-up racism and prejudice that a group of people experience and the scars that entails, the morality in rulers and their position of power, parental figures and the way of passing down human experience, the traumas of abuse and loss, the dehumanization of people subjected to colonialization, the variety of ways features poop. But probably the subject that gets the most attention is greed. Well, duh, it's a pirate story. They want that booty. But this ain't no Monkey Island, where it can be laughed off. Greed infects people, like Buggy and his want for respect, Koro and his want of basically getting his cake and eating it too, Big Mom and just wanting to eat cake, Wapole, Crocodile, Don Flamingo, and Blackbeard, and all their want of power. But above all of that, they want money. Money is a useful, imaginary friend, able to make transactions for goods and services, and resources. And as we know, money is power. So let's talk gold. It's probably a good idea to give an overview of the world of One Piece, just so we have all the relevant info in our head, and people who don't know have a baseline. The world of One Piece is in the throes of the age of pirates. People from all over are forming crews and going to seek their fortunes. But the world government, a government formed by several countries coming together as one, has these pirates in their sights. They want to take them down, as their simple acts are an affront to the Celestial Dragon's total sovereignty, power, and control. Monkey D. Luffy is one of these said pirates, and well, I want to break free. And see, Luffy did some math in his head, probably the only math he's ever done, and realized he wants to be the most free. And to do that, he decides to become the king of the pirates. No small feat. But he has a dedicated crew behind him, who believe in him and his dream. Zoro, General Muscle, and most likely the first mate. In fact, he's the first crewmate Luffy recruited, picked off of Death's Door. Zoro realized Luffy was more than just a pirate. Luffy coming and giving someone freedom. I wonder if there's any symbolism in that. Total badass. A swordsman who carries and uses 3 swords, and able to take just about anything, drink anything, and fight anything. There is a reason they call him a monster. Nami. Nami's not shy, but she stole her way into our hearts. A thief by force, Luffy and the rest of his crew went and broke her of those chains. Again, Luffy and freedom. Weird. The ship's navigator and general no-shits taker tries, often in vain, to keep the weirder personalities of the ship in check. She loves them though. Also really damn good at predicting the weather. It helps when you have a staff that controls it for you. Usopp. A man who can hit his mark from 1,000 miles, or 1,609.34 kilometers, with 1,042 subordinates at his command, a fleet of ships to rival any army. He is no man, but a capital G, capital O, space D, period, God. Okay, some of that's a lie. I'll let you pick which ones. Marksman for the Straw Hat Pirates. He's also a man who has a lot of fear and anxiety, but pushes through it for his friends. Sanji, the chef of our crew, but don't think he can't open a can of whoop-ass on you. When we first meet him, he's a no-nonsense chef amongst a whole group of no-nonsense chefs. But the more we learn of this chivalrous pervert, the deeper it goes. Turns out, and by the way, if you haven't gotten the whole cake spoiler for next 5 seconds, he is a failed genetic experiment who escaped his cruel family. But he found his new family, and he's going to protect them and make sure they're well fed. Tony Chopper. Young, naive, inexperienced in the world, but an excellent doctor. The kid bro of the group, able to heal most of what ails the crew. But he is not just a support role, as he has multiple forms which he can access, including a giant monster able to deal massive damage. He's also a reindeer-human hybrid creature who was shunned by all until a kindly old man welcomed him in. And eventually, our crew did the same. Nico Robin, the crew's very own femme fatale, cool and seemingly aloof. Just like the rest of them though, still kind of a goofball. Chased all of her life by a world-encompassing government that wants her dead. She'd had to get handy and footy. Army, look, she can make a bunch of copies of her body parts. Starting off as an antagonist, she eventually became so close that she was going to give her life so that they may live. But Luffy gave her a chance for freedom. Frankie, the shipwright of the group. He takes care of the Thousand Sunny. A delinquent in his past, he's matured some, but still tends to wear nothing but a Speedo and an Aloha shirt. Incredibly inventive, with a flair for the dramatic. Also a cyborg, powered by cola. Probably should mention that. But seeing as he is one of only 2 known cyborgs in this whole world, and he made himself that way, all by himself, shows how super his mind can be. Brooke. I'm gonna be dead honest with you. Brooke is my favorite Straw Hat. Hell, I made an entire jokey video about my love of this character. The musician of the crew is also a slick swordsman. Also, he is dead. He got better. Now he's a walking, talking bone pun carrying on the last will of his old crew to sail the whole Red Line and make it back to their giant whale friend, Laboon. And then there's Jinbei, but he's not in this movie, so shush. This simple yet powerful crew all have differing roles, but despite it all, they have come together under the umbrella of Luffy and his love of freedom. They sail with him, because he will be King of the Pirates. I think it would help a little just to know why this movie came about. In 1997, One Piece started being published in Shonen Jump. This was after several attempts at the story through some one-shots called Romance Dawn. They got pretty popular. Eventually, in 1999, Toei Animation, with secured rights in tow, debuted the anime. And if Toei does an anime like this, you know there's something there. See, Toei is also the group who animated Dragon Ball Z and produces Super Sentai and Kamen Rider. And if you know anything about those shows, you know Toei loves to milk their properties. So One Piece started and continues to this day as an ongoing anime. Essentially, it never has a full season break. This used to be the norm with shonen anime, but it has decreased of late. The only ones I can think that still work like this are One Piece and Black Clover. But with the anime just going on and on and on, they need something to break it up some, to drive new or lapsed eyes to the product, or to make more merch, general promotion, or what have you. And this is the place of the movies. Now, Oda doesn't write the movies. I want to make that clear for when I'm talking about the world in relation to this movie. While the movie, I believe, totally fits into the whole themes of One Piece, it is not quote-unquote canon. So here is your salt shaker. While not writing them, Oda does often have a creative consultant position, one would hope so, and an executive producer credit. Like a specter of creative juices. Part 3, when I actually talk about the movie. We open up on the Grand Line in the New World, but we don't see our typical port town. No, we see the lights and spectacle of something grand. There is glitz, there is glamour, and a show to boot. But we know why we are here. There's an adventure to be had, and there is one crew to have it. The Straw Hats have heard about this place, so decided to come in and have a little fun. Coming through the tunnels, they are showered in gold flake. An incredible sign of wealth that this place can just waste gold like this. They make their way to land and are introduced to Baccarat. She is here to inform them that they are VIPs, very important pirates. Seeing as they are well-renowned pirates, they are given several choice amenities. They go around and enjoy the activities, including automobile racing and several forms of gambling. And the Straw Hats are killing it with some devilish luck. After making hefty profits, the crew are invited to the VIP lounge, where the owner of this country, Gil Tesoro, challenges Luffy to a new game. If Luffy wins, then his earnings are increased tenfold. If he loses, well, just don't lose. They set up a game of dice against a dude named, well, Dice, appropriately, but after a brief touch by Baccarat, for some reason, Luffy just doesn't have the mojo anymore. His luck has ran out, and that's not a good thing. When you're in debt in this place, you're in debt hard. Oftentimes, you're in debt for a reason they wanted you to be. Now the Straw Hats have 24 hours to secure the funds and clear this gambling debt. But as collateral, they take our precious sword boy Zoro. The clock is ticking. In part 3.5, we talked briefly here and there, but I think it's really imperative that we truly get a picture of who these guys are. First, we got our big ass muscle, Dice. Of course he's a tough guy, here to do tough guy shit. So he has to look like one of the biggest, toughest dudes, the Hulk Hogan. Trust me, the Hulkster told me he was the toughest guy himself. He also said to ignore what that one video on the internet said. Something about how you shouldn't get caught. Look, the leather works. Especially when you realize this dude is a pretty big masochist. I mean, it helps him in a fight. It's hard to hit someone who likes being hit. I mean, do you want to be a part of his fantasy tonight? Wait, that's not the video he was talking about. Next we have Tanaka. This person is a devil fruit power. The Nuke Nuke fruit. Basically gives him the power of the Martian Manhunter. Minus the whole telepathy and strength. Second thought, that was a bad comparison. He can change his density so much that he can phase through walls, which is really useful when you realize he is head of security. Though he may be a little childish, he does get the job done. Also, he has a giant ass head. The fucking melon.
Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick ass boy. Damn.
The final member of the henchman trio is Baccarat. She's basically the concierge of the whole island, setting up guests with amenities and whatnot. She also happens to have the Luck fruit, to give some guests a little bit more luck, and some little less. And that's why the Straw Hats seemingly had so much luck, but after one more touch, they lost it all. Tall, slender, and beautiful, just like many a One Piece woman, but she's really confident in her ability. And as far as we've seen, it's kind of justified. But you see, all three of these guys are just henchmen to the grand big Papa Pump of the story, Gil Tesoro. See, he owns this place. No, I don't mean the hotel. I mean the whole stinking island ship. Guild here has a very simple philosophy. Money is everything. Money controls anything. Money is more important than anything, and you can only succeed if you have money. And ultimately, he believes if you have the money, you have all the power in the world. And it isn't without precedent. He has the gold devil fruit, which allows him to make, create, and ultimately control any form of gold. And with that control of gold, he entertains the masses with bright, sparkly distractions and the idea that you can get rich just like him. See, all of these characters represent the power and influences of money. With the character of Dice, he shows the strength and violence of money. With money, you can get away with anything. Buy your way out of a problem, as well as the inherent power dynamics that come about when you have all of the resources and others don't. So why not use it to muscle your way around and get what you want? Then you have Tanaka. Here, he represents the idea that with money you can have access to anything you want. Just wave enough money around and you can get into places you shouldn't, or information that some people don't want out in the open. And of course, we have Baccarat. She represents the ability to take those risky investments. Those things that if it were anybody else, it would be a haphazard risk. But for her, it's a surefire thing. Because remember, with money, any risky investment is a drop in the bucket. With enough money, you can control your own luck. At the end of it all, we have Guild, a man who lays out this metaphor in no uncertain terms. Guild represents how money can control your environment, about how with enough resources, you don't have to worry about anything. Hell, with enough resources, you can control other people's environments. Do you own the land? The property? You can just rent it off. You control the resources. How about the people that rent from you? Do you control their jobs? If you have enough money, you can control all of that. Basically, give yourself a whole group of people that are nothing more than indentured servants. Or, if you want to be blunt, slaves. Hell, he even did it to the turtles for the engines of the car. If you control the resources, the land, the property, the tools, and the people, and the labor, if you control all of that, then it's like he says, you're not unlike a god. And now, Luffy is finding that out. Part 3.6. We will get to part 4, I promise. Hold on. Beaten and dejected, but their crewmate captured, the Straw Hats are on the street trying to figure out what to do. Though a cheeky little pickpocket decides to try and take Nami's wallet. But Nami sees through this little thief and recognizes her as an old burglar buddy. She comes bearing a gift. She has some intel on a great stash. 20% of all the world's currently is sitting somewhere on this ship nation, and this little thief has the key, or at least a copy of it. So she recruits the Straw Hats to go in and get it and split it so they can save their friend. She also informs us that the gold dust shower in the intro to the film wasn't just a display of opulent wealth. In fact, it was Guild infecting them with gold so that he can control them or hurt them if they get out of line. A way of making sure that any debt will be paid. The plan is simple. Luffy and Frankie will scale the outside of the building and bust into security and fuck with the video feed. Bonus is that they're also acting as a little bit of distraction. Everyone else is going through the front door in a sneaky fashion. Of course, shenanigans happen. Frankie sends some plungers to hit the side of the building so Luffy can climb on them. Of course, several of them start falling and they almost fall to their death. The rest of the crew and Nami's old friend runs into a hall full of laser owl guards who will hoot at anything living. Brook does get caught, but he's safe. He's a skeleton after all. But Luffy gets caught, and Guild sends him and Frankie down to the Golden Prison, a desert underneath the ship where he sends prisoners, nuisances, or people he just wants to kill. Being a dictator, you tend to have a good number of those three. While falling, Frankie is able to tell the rest of the crew to get the hell out of Dodge, so they make the most logical choice. They assault and steal the clothing of a member of one of the most powerful groups of people on the planet, the Celestial Dragons. Don't worry, this makes sense in context. But our robot and rubber pals figure out a plan. See, there's a giant hole that will take them all the way to the water pump that turns the seawater into fresh water for everyone to drink. Easy way to get out will simply be to bust the pump and spread salt water over everything. And with encouragement, they're able to convince the other prisoners in the desert, as well as the council member of the Revolutionary Army, to help them out and bust open the pump. Meanwhile, the crew used their clever disguise as Celestial Dragons to get closer to the vault, and used the key to get in. Except it wasn't a vault at all, it was a trap. Guild figured out that the pirates would like to steal his stash and get away without paying the price. So he tasked Nami's old friend to trick them into this plan. The bitch. Now we're in desperate struggle time. Nami, Brook, Chopper, Robin, and Sanji are all tied up in having just been tricked. Zoro, of course, is in Golden Prison of Pain, while Luffy and Frankie are in the pump, but they just got through and are able to do what they do best. Break shit. Cause it turns out, Nami is a goddamn JoJo protag with plans inside of plans. See, she figured her old friend didn't just show up out of the blue for no good reason. Nah, she had that whole thing clocked. It was always going to be a trick to get them a very specific place to dispose of them. And she knew Luffy wouldn't be able to succeed at such a delicate operation, but she knows that he can figure something out enough to break it. So that was the plan. They followed along just enough to make them think that they were getting away with it, and then in the end, boom, the gamble paid off. Now, Guild has no control over all the gold that covered everyone else, because it's washed off with the seawater. And now, the punch-up can begin. Of course, in classic One Piece fashion, the fight scenes go on, and they're beautiful and excellent and well done. But we also get some backstory for our main villain, Guild. Guild was a kid who wanted to perform and sing for everyone. The shame was that his family was poor and couldn't afford to do, well, anything. So he turned to a life of crime, being a thug for others. But in this bleak time, he found and fell in love with a slave girl being sold. With a last bit of optimism, he thought he could raise up the money and free her. But it was too late. A celestial dragon bought her before he could save her. With the man who bought her simply saying, "The right price, anybody can be bought." Guild eventually found themselves in the chain of slavery, though he was able to free himself and partake in the devil's fruit. But Luffy doesn't give a shit. Guild only saw money as the path to freedom, that he must take in order to be free, and that others must suffer for it. Luffy, on the other hand, longs to be the king of the pirates, someone unbound by the world's rules, laws, or logic, someone free for their own sake and no one else's. And Luffy can't abide anyone taking that freedom away from another. He would not stand it when Zoro was chained up in jail, when Nami was coerced by the Arlong pirates, when Usopp got too wrapped up in his own lies, when Sanji was troubled by his family trauma, when Chopper is in fear of being rejected, when Robin was taken in by the Marines, Frankie by his sense of guilt, and Brook by his lack of shadow. Freedom is precious to him, and coercion pisses him off something fierce. So the punch-up happens. The Marines are outside the island, trying to protect the Celestial Dragon shitbag inside. However, Sabo, a member of the Revolutionary Army, comes in and tells them to stop, because they're about to kill civilians. Guild becomes a giant golden man like Goldar from the Power Rangers movie. The rest of his henchmen get golden armor, and it's time to pair people off into fights. Zoro goes off to fight Dice, and Dice loves it, just short of calling Zoro daddy. Robin and Sanji go off to fight with Tanaka. Brook, Usopp, and Chopper go up against Baccarat, while she steals the luck from a bunch of minions and gives it to herself. As Luffy's beating the absolute piss out of Gold, his henchmen aren't doing that much better. Tanaka realizes he can't slip away if he can't move, and Baccarat realizes that all the luck in the world can make you a little over-encumbered. And Dice learns that brute force is nothing against precision. Guild is on the back foot, decides to melt all the gold around him to drown everyone in it. So Luffy does what he always does, ascend higher and claim that nothing can take away his freedom. He then knocks that knowledge into Guild, and the good guys win. Part 4. I told you. So, pretty simple and really well done stories. The good guys save the day, and all the victims are set free to do what they want. And the side burglar character that Nami knew, introduced in the movie, gets what she wants. But why though? Because the idea of freedom will always overtake the ideas of coercion. See, the Straw Hat crew, they're unbothered by material things. I'm sure they like things. Nami likes money, Sanji likes new ingredients, Chopper likes cotton candy, but they don't need it. They like it, but it's not necessary. So long as they have their crew and family around them, they're happy. And in fact, you see later in the story how lost they feel when they're not together, showing the ends that any one of them will go to get their friends back. Money holds no power over them. They have each other's trust. Guild's crew, however, lust over money, almost fetishize it. To an extent, one actually does have an overt sexual fetish, but we won't get into that. Money to them holds all the power. Money is resources. Money is freedom. Money means that they are free, but that bastard money doesn't mean anything. It's a contract. It's an idea of a universal barter. Money is not a resource. It's not power. It's the idea of power. Money is the "this is not a pipe" of concepts. But in the show, money has value. Gold has value. Until you realize that the whole ship is made of gold. And it's everywhere. So how much is it really worth? In the end, Dice is beat with strength that can't be bought. Only trained and refined. Tanaka is captured and tamed by, well, the people he observed. Literally Robin's flesh with her devil fruit power. And Baccarat is taken down by turning her luck against her. Gildasoro says that with all the money in the world, you're like a god. You can get what you want, how you want it, do whatever you want. You have freedom. But money is shown to be transient. There's inflation, or depression, recession. Money can be lost. Guild loses the value of his stuff in the movie when he turns it into weapons, unable to be the currency he so valued. Money is nothing. It's a ghost. True freedom is to make choices without the need of it. To make choices on your wants and desires irregardless of some fake resource that you have no true control over. Wait, is this movie about capitalism?